Let's start with a question that seems almost too simple, but the answer is over 2,000 years old. And you'll see it feels unbelievably modern. We're going to dig into what's basically a formula for reality itself.
So really think about this for a second. What actually makes a substance a substance? I mean, it seems obvious, right? Until you actually try to nail down a definition. Is air a substance? How about time? Well, an ancient school of philosophy didn't just ask this question. They built a seriously rigorous formula to answer it. And that was the Vaisheshika school in India. You could say they were obsessed with logic. They came up with this airtight two-part test to categorize the world. This wasn't some vague, poetic idea. No, this was a precise, logical formula. Okay, so let's break down their formula. It all starts with the first of two crucial clues. And this one is all about the idea of plurality, or, well, having more than one. The Vaisheshika thinkers gave this essential quality a name, dravyatvam. You can translate that to something like substance-ness. Think of it as the secret sauce, you know? The one thing that every single substance has to have. And here it is, the first rule of the test, right from the source. For a quality like substance-ness to even count as a fundamental property, it has to apply to more than one thing. It absolutely cannot be something exclusive to a single item in the universe. The logic here is actually pretty simple. If a quality only belongs to one thing in existence, it's not a fundamental category of reality. It's just a unique feature of that one thing. For substance-ness to be a real universal property, it has to be a shared trait. And this list right here shows you exactly why their rule works. Substance-ness is a valid universal property because, look, it applies to all 9 of these totally different things. Earth has it, sure, but so do water, fire, and get this, even time and the self. Because the property is found in many places, it passes the first test. Check.
But hold on, that's only half the story. It's not enough for the property to just be shared. The second clue is just as important, and it's all about what this property isn't. It has to be unique in a very, very specific way. This brings us to the second part of the formula.
So to get this next part, we just need 2 simple ideas, genus and species. Think of it like this. Mammal is a big, broad category, right? That's a genus. A dog is a type of mammal, and then a beagle is an even more specific type, a species of dog. You see how they kind of nest inside each other?
And boom, here's the second rule, again, straight from the ancient texts. Substance-ness has to have a total, an absolute absence of that genus-species relationship we just talked about. It can't be a type of something bigger, and it can't be a big container for other types. And that's really the heart of the second clue. Substance-ness isn't a species of some broader thing, and it's not a genus that has other types underneath it. It is a fundamental, standalone category. It's not like beagleness, which is just a type of dogness. No, substance-ness just is.
All right, so now we have our 2 clues, plurality and uniqueness. Let's put them together and see the complete Vaiśeṣika formula in all its glory. And here it is, the whole thing laid out as a simple 2-part test. If you want to know if a property is truly substance-ness, you just ask 2 questions. Step 1, the plurality question. Does it exist in more than one thing? If the answer is yes, great, you move to step 2, the uniqueness question. Is it its own fundamental category? If you get 2 yeses, then congratulations, you found a substance. Now, this is the part that is just, it's mind-blowing. This isn't just some quaint, ancient wordplay. This 2,000-year-old definition is so incredibly precise that you can translate it almost perfectly into the language of modern formal logic. I mean, that's just amazing. Now, don't worry, you definitely do not need to be a logician to get this. All this slide is doing is translating our 2 clues into a kind of code. That first line there, that just represents our plurality rule. Substance-ness exists in at least 2 different things. We'll call them X and Y. And the second line, that's our uniqueness rule. It's not part of or a container for any other universal category. It's our two-part test, just written in the language of pure logic.
And this final quote just wraps it all up in one perfect, elegant sentence. Substance-ness is established by its recurring presence, that's our plurality rule, and it has no further genus or specific difference, and that is our uniqueness rule. And that right there is the Vaiśeṣika definition of a substance. It's incredible to think about, isn't it? That this ancient system tried to map the very fabric of reality with such surgical precision. And it leaves us with a final question for ourselves. What are the fundamental categories we use to define our world today? And you have to wonder how many of them could actually pass a test this rigorous.